Hi everyone, it's Rax. Titan Quest 2's early access released today, which is the sequel to the famous ARPG from multiple decades ago, Titan Quest 1. So I downloaded it, installed it. I beat all the content in early access, and I'm going to make a quick video telling you my opinion on it, the good and the bad, and finally give a summary about might help you decide whether you want to buy it or not. Quick disclaimer, I was not sponsored to stream it. I am not sponsored to make this video, so this will be a truthful, unbiased review. But even if they had sponsored me, it would have been the same deal anyway. But that matters to some people, so not sponsored. Let's start with the good. The most important thing you can get for any video game, Titan Quest 2 got right for me. The game was fun. I genuinely enjoyed my time right from the beginning up until the point where I beat it, where if the full game was out, I would have continued playing. I really enjoyed zipping around, using all the different skills, building up my character, navigating through the world. All of it, it just worked. Some people have complained that they don't like the slower pacing. It's definitely slower, more like a game like POE2 is right now, than it is like, let's say, a POE1 or a Torchlight, where you're moving at the speed of light. But the slow pacing didn't bother me at all. I thought everything worked. As you can see, like you open a treasure chest there, you get like one item. But I love that. That helps you. It makes me want to engage with the loot a lot more when I have one item to look at rather than, 5,000 items dropping everywhere. And there are loot explosions, by the way. They do reward you for like the epic battles, which is another thing that I really liked. I thought the bosses were pretty cool. Didn't see a whole lot of them because, as we'll get to later, the early access doesn't have a whole lot of content. But the bosses that I did fight, I thought were very interesting. And finally, after beating them, getting the loot explosions was very satisfying. One thing that I know Titan Quest did very well, that I can see them doing very well in this game as well, is the class fantasy. I'm playing an ice mage, as you can see. I'm throwing the ice shards everywhere. They're freezing enemies. I could easily spec into thunder, and there's like this dual class system, which is another great thing about the game, where the theory crafting is definitely there. You can mix and match a lot of different ideas, especially as they expand out the game. They've got, stat points, they've got your skill, the skill tree, and they have like divinity points, and they have I think they're called attribute points. So a bunch of different systems that you can mix and match also with the dual classes to theory craft a lot of different things, which should give it a lot of replayability in the future. If ARPGs are fun for you for making a lot of different builds, this could be a great game for you. Another thing that I thought that's very important, that felt good for me in my early access playthrough, was the upgrades that I would get, whether it was advancing through the skill tree or getting better items, felt meaningful. So, as an example, early on, I put a few points into mana regeneration because as I saw the mana costs of my spells going up, I figured I would need to spend some in there so I wouldn't run out of mana. Well, it's true. I never ran out of mana, but then I was like, well, do I really need these points or not? So then I spec'd into more damage, and not only did my damage go way up, I was able to tailor it exactly in a way where I would never run out of mana and just maximize my damage. Stuff like that felt very, very good. So the options are there, the theory crafting is there. I can see that being a huge selling point for the game in the future. Another thing that I really thought they did a good job of from what we saw is a lot of the different zones genuinely felt different. Whether it's the different biomes or going through this dungeon, it's got different elevations. You're climbing cliffs, you're going on different cliffs like underneath waterfalls. There's grassy areas, swampy areas. I'm sure there's much more coming. The whole landscape of the world felt very good. And then one thing that I think would be good for maybe anybody who isn't like a super crazy try hard in ARPGs is it gave me a very strong like classic ARPG experience. If you've ever played an ARPG before, the systems will feel natural to you. I didn't encounter any like crazy mechanics that didn't make a whole lot of sense, that felt like I needed a PhD in order to play it. So if you're looking for something a little bit more relaxed to make a cool build, class fantasy, and just go through, Titan Quest 2 seems like it's going to be a great choice. Now let's move on to the bad stuff. And I'm going to start with the most obvious thing here. And remember, this is an early access. By far, the biggest problem with Titan Quest 2 is the amount of content. So just to give you an example, I only did one playthrough, and apparently everyone was telling me the build I made was super OP. Okay, fine. So maybe it would have been a little bit different if I had made a weaker build. But I played for 4.4 hours, got to the end of the early access, and did a ton of side quests. I didn't do all of them, but I did a lot of them. So 4.4 hours of content. You're paying $24 for early access. So no, you're not paying $24 just for one act of content. You're going to be a part of the development process, and I assume we get the full game, of course, for this price when it actually comes out. What will be the end game price? I don't know. $40, $50. I have no idea what it's going to be, but you get it for a cheaper price. But if you're expecting to pay $24 for like a full games experience, this is a million times closer, if not completely, a demo of the game rather than an actual full game to play. So if you're the kind of person that's kind of uneasy about it and you want to wait and you're willing to pay the higher price to see if the game actually launches in a good state, I just want you to know that that's what you're in for. As far as I could tell, I did some research. I didn't see any roadmap for Titan Quest 2. They give you a notice at the end where they say like new content will be trickling in, but I don't know when or exactly what is coming. I've heard whispers that they are planning on doing some kind of an end game after they're done with the expansion, but I don't think that they know what that end game is. That might be wrong, but that's what I'm hearing, so I'm telling you what I know right now. That's what I know so far. Another thing about the game, I mean, you can see it for yourself here and make your own judgment, but I'm going to give you my opinion, is I think the graphics are mid. And I want to be very, very specific on what I'm talking about here. What I'm not talking about is the art style or the art direction. I think the UI, I think the monsters, I think the text, I think the worlds, they all look cool, and it's like very similar to Titan Quest 1, just kind of revamped. I love that. I'm good with all of that. I'm talking about the actual quality of the graphics. In the beginning, I had to sit there and mess with a bunch of different settings to try to get it like playable. And everyone was spamming in my chat that they were having very, very similar issues. Again, it's early access. They could definitely improve these things, but this is definitely something that I'm hoping that we're gonna hear from them, that they're gonna update the graphics, clean up the graphics. Like when I was swinging my sword or shooting my bow in the beginning, it was like all blurry on my screen. I zoomed in and I showed people like, look how blurry this is. Do you see this? We were just sitting there tinkering with all the different settings, trying to make it as good as we could. The graphics need to improve, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't know how else to say it. One counterpoint to one of the good points that I made. Remember how I told you the game is simple. It's not genre, or it's simple. It's a classic ARPG experience. Da 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 da. Sometimes you just want to chill and play good old fashioned ARPG and have some fun. I did not see anything in this game that was in any way genre advancing. And honestly, I was talking to Mods about this, and I agree with his take, where he was saying a lot of times when people try anything genre advancing, it usually doesn't go well. So maybe this isn't so much of a negative, but I do want to mention it. If you're looking for something like, if you're looking for a new and a fresh take on ARPGs, it's not Titan Quest 2. The skill tree, the passives, the ability points, the attribute points being required to put on your gear, the gear color progression, walk forward, kill the trash, kill the boss, go to the next spot. It's the good old fashioned formula that we all know and love. So If you're looking for a new experience, Titan Quest 2 does not appear to be it unless they're going to release something later in the future. So I put that in the negative column if that's something that you care about. Again, overall, I had a lot of fun playing it, even though there wasn't much to play. 4.4 hours dead, or I was done standing there. I think I was max level. I think the max level is 20. It's 20, just standing there. Okay, I could do the whole thing again on another build, but I think I'll let them cook. Should you buy the game? Well, you should definitely buy the game if you like Titan Quest 1 and you're for sure going to buy Titan Quest 2 when it's out because it's just cheaper now. Like, even if you don't even want to play it, I think it's going to be a cheaper cost now. So you should definitely do that. If you want to add a classic ARPG to your Steam library, with good old fashioned formula, you should buy it then. If you want to be a part of the development process and give them feedback and test, test all the steps until the launch and be a step ahead of the other people, you should do that. You should not buy this game if you're expecting to pay $24 today and have like a full video game experience. If you've got an afternoon ahead of you, you can beat most of it, if not all of it. Most people have said that they've beaten it and did every side quest in 6 hours, which is, I didn't do every side quest and I played for 4.4. So it's roughly the same. That's what you'll get out of your $24 right now. And that's pretty much it. So overall, I would say I'm happy with this. And the reason why I'm happy is all of the things that are wrong with it are easily fixable. Adding more content, which, by the way, again, this is just a rumor that I heard. I heard that the base campaign is 5x at least what we've currently played. I don't know if that means there's 5 acts, but I've heard it's 5 times the content. So if you take 6 hours times 5, now it's a 30-hour campaign. Okay, that's seeming much more reasonable. But in general, I think they did a lot of the most important things right. They can add more content. I hope that they can update the graphics. The fact that this doesn't have a brand new genre advancing system, it doesn't bother me at all. I've been playing these ARPGs since I was a kid. So I'm favorable toward Titan Quest 2 at this time. Anyway, I don't want to make the video any longer than it needs to be. That's my review, guys. If you played it or if you have questions, post them down below. I'd be happy to answer. I think there's one question you might have is there's 4 different classes. I played like Mage and Warrior. There's Rogue, and then one other thing. You can see my combo at the top. It's like Storm and Earth. Anyway, if you have any questions, post them down below. I'd be happy to answer them for you. And we'll see what Titan Quest 2 has to bring in the future. Thank you.